have very big concerns around it, because if you think about it, in all of the conversation about Brexit, none of the decision makers have actually considered the implications on women. If you take a good look at groundbreaking reports by the Women's Budget Group and Fawcett Society, it shows the impact that a hard Brexit will have on women in terms of public infrastructure services, in terms of the fact that women form 80% of the low-paid workforce. What's going to happen post-Brexit? I mean, women are already at the bottom of the barrel in terms of having to bear the brunt of austerity in this country. So come post-Brexit, what's the plan?
Shola, I want to include the men as part of the conversation because it's obviously so important to do that. Yesterday, you took part in the March for Women rally. You had David Tennant, the actor, there. And you told me you were dancing with Annie Lennox. But what kind of message do you want to everyone?
Yes, I think the important thing for us to understand is that it is time for a real reckoning of gender and power. It is time for us to have the kind of conversation and narrative that can really revolutionize the way we move forward as a society. I say it's time for a conscious revolution. Call it a pitchfork, I don't care what shape it takes. If it's going to make people consciously understand that it's time to end sexual harassment in the workplace. It's time to end the misogyny that women experience, sexism. If you think about it, a lot of the female founders and entrepreneurs are less likely to get capital to start their own business. Why is that? And we don't even have equal representation in our houses of parliament. How are we going to get the kind of representation we require? Those are the kind of real issues.
Well, I think that one of the things that you can, that is very important here is that it's a bottom to top movement that instils change. It's not going to happen if it comes from the public sector. The public sector is actually always going to drive much more about keeping the status quo. If you look at what the circular economy is doing, technology disruption is doing, is actually empowering women in Central Africa, is empowering women in India, is empowering women to actually build their businesses because the requirements of capital are actually lower. So the good things about developing the circular economy, developing innovation, developing technology is that gender equality comes with it instead of trying to make it sort of a policy that ends up actually prolonging the status quo, no?
Is that enough, Shola, though?
No, heck no. We need both. We need everything on the table. This can no longer be a situation whereby women wait your turn, or let's do this first, or not. We know that we live in societies where the law, legislation plays a role. We also understand that in all of the examples you've given, how much representation do you have in terms of diversity so that it can truly drive change? I bet you anything, you don't have enough women, enough Black, Asian, minority ethnic groups. You need all of those voices. And people with disability are experiencing real inequality. Where's the representation of LGBTQI? All of that is really important for us to be able to drive change. So women, as far as I'm concerned, today is the end of all of the misogyny and the unfair prejudice that we've been experiencing. Enough is enough, my brother and sisters.
What about the top down? I mean, this is the curious thing. So if we look at the Brexit process, which you brought up, Theresa May is in charge of it.
Right.
We have Caroline Spellman, a Labour MP, putting in amendments. On the other side, the Conservatives, we've got Anna Soubry putting in amendments. So there are plenty of women involved in steering. You mentioned 3 women. That's not plenty. Well, compared to how many men in Parliament? But they are engaged. My point would be this: that you should we be asking for those women who have high-profile roles in this process to be more focused on what women can get out of the process, rather than just being focused on the politics? I think that these women, I'll definitely mention Anna Soubry. I think they are focused, someone like Anna Soubry is focused on how it can generally impact women as well. I think the problem here with politicians, if I may, is that there's just way too much infighting, that, especially with Brexit, that the issues, the real issues that impact ordinary people like you and I are not really being spoken about. That is a problem. So Brexit has just taken a whole different, paradigm shift. That it's no longer about the people, but about the politics, which is why we need a people's vote on Brexit.
Hi, I'm Joanna Bersecci, and thank you for watching. You can check out more of our videos by clicking on the boxes on the screen. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more from CNBC International. Thank you for watching.